I think it's a mix of very legitimate concerns, and in some cases, from my perspective, probably exaggerated articulations of where the risk lies, at least given the technology today. Starting with the legitimate concerns, I think that's really grounded in the pace of innovation we've seen with the general purpose or foundational models. If you consider that over the course of about 4 years, we saw those models advance from the capabilities of basically a preschooler, GPT-2, and that era of models to today, where you have sort of the level of an undergraduate or a smart high schooler. Now that's 4 times faster than people develop it that way. So that's pretty amazing. And I think that if those trend lines continue in terms of increased compute, algorithmic improvements, and improved application of techniques to actually get the most out of these models, we're likely to see very impressive gains comparable to that over the next few years as well. So if that holds within the decade at least, we're going to see the availability and proliferation of agent-type AI systems that are not only smart chatbots, but actually autonomously carrying out quite sophisticated tasks alone or independent or in coordination with other systems, with people. The broader implications of that are fascinating to think about, but I think for this audience, it's quite understandable to think that a regulation is a natural response to that level of uncertainty because it's a known tool and it's available to us. I think maybe where we've gotten a little ahead of ourselves in terms of some of the regulation coming online is actually a point that Philippe raised, which I think a lot of the theoretically problematic use cases that are eligible now are covered by existing laws, whether that be data protection or IP, consumer protection law, things like that. And so I think it's not clear in some of these cases to me that a regulation of AI per se is the right mechanism for addressing these new versions of problems when we consider the cost of doing that, right? So I think there are indications that the burden of that regulation is slowing things down in some areas. So think about Apple saying that they're going to at least delay the rollout of their new consumer Apple intelligence tool in the EU because of the regulatory burden. Query whether or not that's a gambit in their kind of broader battle with EU regulators, but at the very least, it's a consumer harm that's sort of attributable to this regulation. So I think there are strong arguments for what the AI Act calls the prohibited AI practices, things like social scoring, very dystopian like profiling practices, things like that. But I think we do need to be a bit cautious, not to sort of add on a very burdensome new framework where we've got existing tools to deal with those problems.